I'll
Great.
share my screen again, put this on.
Tell me when we're live.
Yeah. There we go. It's 3 o'clock, so if everything went right, we should be live now. I know there's always a bit of a delay, so I'll give people some chance to join as well. But really happy to have you here, Timos, that you've made some time in your very busy schedule between traveling to Canada, all the meetups, the working groups. And I saw that we had a lot of attendees signing up, so that means that a lot of experts in the field were very happy as well to be able to hear from you. You've got, of course, an extensive experience, and I think what I've appreciated most in the past weeks, past months, since I've joined the aviation sector, since I've started talking to you, was how you know the processes, the systems, and the procedures, but you're always looking towards solutions as well. You don't just agree with the status quo, or you don't go along with the status quo, but you try to challenge that as well, whether it be for operational efficiency, for revenue optimization, for passenger excellence. So that's really interesting to work with, to someone who brings that to the table every day. So yeah, welcome, Timos. I don't know if you want to shortly introduce yourself.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure talking to you and being here talking about my favorite topic, which is, of course, baggage. I'm very happy that a lot of people also like this topic and are here with us today. As you said, my name is Timos Korosis. I've been with Aegean and Olympic Air since 2007. And I'm a member of the ground operations team, mainly discussing and talking about baggage projects. So I deal with all these issues, as well as other projects that have to do with our ground operations and how we can optimize our processes, procedures, and apply new technology to them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we've prepared this a little bit, Timos. We've got structure here, and I also got these slides prepared. Let me go back to the start of these slides. And there we go. So people can follow if they would join a bit later, and I also welcome everyone to add any comments or questions in the chat box. So yeah, let's just dive right in for baggage handling at airlines, at airports. When we talk about that, the one thing that always comes to mind or comes to the conversations is the IATA Resolution 753. So I thought we just start with that. What is the current status of that? How does that affect your work life? Where are we now, and what challenges do you see? So I'll just give you the floor to highlight that.
Of course, first of all, this is an excellent starting point for our discussion. And first of all, I'd like to take a step back and explain to our audience what Resolution 753 is all about. So IATA Resolution 753 was introduced in June 2018 and mandated that all IATA member airlines should be able to track bags at 4 key areas. So check-in, loading at the aircraft, transfer, and arrival to the delivery belt. And also, airlines will be able to track bags at several optional points should they want to or be able to do so. Airlines should be able to create and store tracking data and share them with their interline partners as needed. And in the end, following successful implementation of Resolution 753, airlines should be able to notice a decrease in the amount of mishandling they have each day.
Exactly.
About the status, let me tell you that I know that a lot of airlines and their airports are interested in implementing Resolution 753 or have already implemented. The majority, at least, have done so on their hub and the most important airports. And there are a lot of airlines and who do want to apply what the resolution says to the whole network they operate to, and Aegean is one of them. For us, actually, Resolution 753 has been a very good, a very nice thing that has given us, deep knowledge on what happens in baggage, and was a very important topic that we had the chance to cover, throughout these years.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got those key stages identified then. those 4 tracking points to sort of optimize that process. I know that a lot of airline members have implemented that or have agreed to implement that. I see numbers ranging from 55% to 73%. But yeah, I think the most important thing, Timos, that we can agree on with Resolution 753 is, okay, there is the idea for baggage handling optimization, and it means that everyone has to be on board. We've got airlines, airports, and handlers. We all need to collaborate there. So of course that is one challenge moving forward. How can we bring all of those parties to the table and working together? Are there any other challenges that you see now?
Yeah, a lot of challenges actually. And this comes from the knowledge, as we did our own project. So the first challenge that I can talk about is the infrastructure one. So, and I don't know how good you know Greece, but we have to fly, we fly to the big European cities, to the mega hubs, and those hubs do have the equipment to cover Resolution 753, but we fly to a lot of airports with outdated baggage handling equipment, or even airports that are in remote islands that have no baggage handling equipment at all. So this was a big challenge when we started our Resolution 753 project. In addition, we have, especially following the pandemic, we can see that there is a lot of staff shortages throughout the aviation industry. We have to deal with staff shortages from our handlers, the airports, and this makes it difficult to perform, all the tasks related to Resolution 753. And not only that, but because of those shortages, our partners had to get new staff on board, and this staff was inexperienced. So we had to deal with the communication issues. We had to deal with people who didn't know the correct procedures, and this was not helping, an already stressed operation. Apart from that, I can also note that there was, especially in the beginning, some lack of knowledge from our key stakeholders. I had to talk with people who should know what Resolution 753 was and start explaining them, okay, this is what we want to do. This is why we need to do it. It's not an optional thing. It's something that we are mandated to do, and we have to do it. And we have to be to work together to reduce mishandling. Some things that you should consider basic, but people were not aware about, throughout the industry. And finally, no, this is a big project. Even for an airline that's not one of the biggest ones, you need to be prepared. You need to have, to know what you want to do and consider the scalability of your project and the potential cost of your project. You have to do this within an efficient and a sustainable, let's say, manner.
Yeah, exactly. No, and talking about costs, I do think maybe it's important there to highlight as well that the baggage mishandling costs are also really high because, of course, Resolution 753 baggage tracking comes with a cost. And I was talking to an expert this morning, actually, in baggage handling, who said the number that goes around is often 100 euros, $100 per bag, but that can go up to $150 per bag for an airline. So that quickly adds up, of course, even if it's just a small percentage, like let's say 4% of bags that go missing, that is a big bill at the end of the year.
Exactly, Catherine. And this is actually one of the things that we had to tell to our partners to convince them that we need to work together and implement the resolution. 100 euros for each bag is one cost that they can measure. Of course, there's always, the cost of your brand. If you know that, let's say, X airport has a high mishandling rate, there's a high chance that passengers might decide not to take this airline or might not use this as a transfer point for their journey if they know that, okay, I'm going for a vacation for 1 week and for the next 4 days I won't have my belongings with me. This might influence their decision pass through a certain route, and this is something that everybody should be aware about.
So interesting. It's a point that always comes back up. Also, Julia Sato in the first webinar really highlighted the importance of passenger happiness, especially in a competitive industry like aviation, where it's really important to have your customer loyalty. And in the end, it depends on these sort of things. A recent study by IATA showed, was it IATA or CETA? It was CETA actually showed that okay, what find people is the most stressful moment during their journey is the security, which is something, okay, we have to go through that. But second there is the baggage pickup. So standing at the conveyor belt and not being certain that the bag might arrive or not. For 22% of people, that's a very, very stressful moment.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about this report, it also shows that, baggage is no longer just one thing that airlines have to do, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. It's something very important for our people, for our passengers, for our customers, and we need to treat it in the same way we do our passengers. We're not just transporting a bag from A to B. It's some people's, maybe memories, or it's their vacation, it's their maybe new job or family. It's important things for our passengers, and we have to treat baggage as an important thing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so thank you for highlighting those challenges. I've written down the infrastructure, staff shortages, the lack of awareness, also the lack of awareness on benefits, and then also the costs that come with mishandling. So as I said at the beginning, you're really good at problem solving, solution thinking. So let's dive into how we can overcome those challenges from your experience and your knowledge.
Yeah, I can tell you what we did to at least overcome most of the challenges of Resolution 753, starting with one thing I said before. You need to understand the requirements. You need to understand what Resolution 753 is about, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and especially why it needs to be done. And once you do that, you're able to move to the next step. And the second thing that you need to do, at least what I believe you need to do, is map your processes. So baggage, for me at least, used to be like a black box, but it's one bag, you load that the aircraft, it goes somewhere, problem is gone. But it's not like this. You have to understand, you have to write down your processes. You might be amazed on what you will find when you map your whole operation. There were processes that were legacy ones that we had been doing for years, and we realized that we can do this in a different way. We can remove this, we can make this better. And this all comes when you fully understand what's happening within your operation. It's one of the most important steps you need to take. And then I used to say, create a plan.
Yeah, I'm just going to interrupt there. I was happy enough to have a guided tour of Barajas Airport in Madrid. And yeah, there you see that, the people who do the ground handling, the operational side, they're there with the planes, with their staff every day to really make sure that they're part of every step of the process and they can see where things go wrong or where the challenges are. So I found that really interesting that they're not just in their office, but they're also really a big part of making those operations run as smoothly as possible on the ground as well. Sorry, I interrupted you there. So you
Yeah,
said,
but no, your point was actually a very important one, and this is something that I've seen the management of Aegean. They are at the airport. They can see what's going on. They're not just behind, in a closed office. So they're with us, and this was something that also helped us, deliver the projects that we had to do and implement Resolution 753. So what you said was really important.
Yeah, you as well. Whenever we talk, most of the time you're at the airport, so it's really interesting to see. Anyway, so that's the process, and once you've got the process, you wanted to say it's important to have
a plan. The next thing is, as I said, something that I used to say, create a plan. Which once you start dealing with Resolution 753 and baggage in general, you will realize that there's no create a plan. It's create many plans. Once you know what happens, you will need to apply different plans for each set of airports you operate. So as I said before, it's a different plan that you will have to follow if you're flying to Athens or Heathrow or Frankfurt, where they have these nice systems and they have everything set up for you. And it's different when you go to a very remote area in Greece, in a very small island where there's no baggage handling system or any equipment that will help you implement quickly Resolution 753. So let's say that you need to create a plan for each airport or set of airports based on their strengths, their weaknesses, and what they can offer to you. And the final thing for me, and this is something very important that many people forget, many airlines forget, you need to work with your partners. You're not alone with this. We are all a community, and we need to work together. We need to engage with your partners. You need to talk to them. You need to explain to them what you want to do, and also, share some feedback and request their own feedback. You will be also amazed on what they should be able to tell you, and you will learn a lot of things, that might apply to a specific airport, or have some new ideas that you can learn every day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's exactly like you say, it's the smallest things as well that can push your operational efficiency forwards. In the end, like we've talked about costs earlier, okay, $150 per bag, that adds up in the end. Same for baggage mishandling, 1 minute that it might take extra to process a bag, that can add up at the end of the journey. So really important to, if everything's streamlined and if everyone working for the same goal.
Exactly. And this is an excellent thing that you brought up. And this is something most people don't realize. It's one bag. Yeah, it's one bag every 10 minutes. So it's no longer one bag. It's 6 bags an hour. And then it's 1 bag per minute. So it's 60 mishandled bags per hour. So this can adapt quickly. This is something that can go, out of hand very quickly. And it can really stress your operation if you're not careful with baggage.
Yeah. And like you said as well, you work in so many different airports. You've got large airports like Athens, but you also work on the very, very small airports of the small islands. So again, you really have to work with the people who are there to get their knowledge and their expertise and know what's going on the ground. So very important. Yeah, I've added a picture there of our travel tag in the slides as well, because that is exactly something that we do. We integrate easily with existing systems to make sure that baggage gets tracked instantly with live information, and anything that goes wrong can be immediately communicated for rerouting or to the passenger. I would have said passenger experience is very, very important. That's a bit what we're working towards, but I know that you got a couple of really interesting use cases as well, Timos. Would you mind sharing a bit what you've been working on the last couple of weeks? Any good examples? I know that's what most people are here for.
Yeah, well, of course. So during the last years, as I said, we have worked a lot with baggage and for baggage, actually. So even before the pandemic, we were able to apply what we learned from by implementing Resolution 753, and we were able to roll out the automated delayed baggage notifications, so our systems were able to trace and still are a mishandled bag and automatically inform a customer about it when they arrive at the destination. We offer our customers live baggage tracking, and we have managed to digitalize, and replace the paper baggage tag receipt with an automated receipt that comes in digital form through your mobile application or your email. And since last December, our customers are also able to use their electronic package tags throughout our network. So they are no longer required to use paper baggage tags, and they can replace them with the Aegean bag tag device. But we didn't stop there, following what happened in 2022. And you all remember, I'm sure, all those images with the baggage piling up in the big airports and, mishandling everywhere, and what happened in the industry. We initiated a project which we called Baggage 360. So through this project, we wanted to tackle the part which has to do with the challenges that have to do with staff shortages and the new staff and stuff which, new people don't like to use legacy systems. They don't like to use complex systems. They want a modern and efficient UI. And this was the vision that we had. We wanted to empower, the people who work for us to perform everything that has to do with baggage mishandling, from delayed bags, from handbags, from damaged bags, or rushing a bag easily from anywhere they were at the point. They shouldn't be confined behind a desk, a dedicated baggage mishandling, let's say, desk, or a lost and found desk. Do this through a modern and intuitive UI. Today, our agents are able to perform, complex tasks. They can reflight bags in seconds, or, create the records that we need to trace a bag again in mere seconds, instead of 10, 15 minutes that they had to take care
Yeah.
for our
Exactly.
passengers.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that instant communication with passengers, isn't it? Because it will go wrong at some point. It might go wrong, a mishandled bag, but just having some sort of information ready and available to share with passengers and make sure that they don't have to do the whole journey to the lost and found, wait at the desk, fill in the PR. That definitely boosts passenger happiness as well.
Exactly. And imagine that, okay, at first we were able to inform them in time, but we realized that in 2022, there was nobody to process the bags with all the process that we had to, all the things that had to be done to refly the bag. And this meant that we told our passengers, okay, we know your bag has been mishandled. We are working to getting it back to you, but it took so much time to get it back to the passengers.
Mm.
I think everything was in vain. So this year things changed a lot, and actually to give you an idea of the impact of this project that had to our operations, during September, during the morning peak in Athens. So Athens is our transfer hub. We have a lot of transfer traffic in the morning. There was a breakdown in the main transfer baggage belt. This meant that the BHS of the airport was not operating, and more than 1,000 bags, if I remember correctly, were left out of their intended flight, in just 45 minutes of this downtime. Normally, this would take us around 2, maybe 3 days with, having staff, reflighting bags, adding new tags, and doing all the complex work that needs to be done. But using the baggage services application that we gave them this year, and only with 2 agents, we managed to reflight 600 bags in the first 3 hours without retagging them, without doing anything additional than just scanning one bag, telling the system that this is the flight I want to use, reflighting the bag. And we had recovered fully by the end of the business day.
Congratulations.
We did it only with 2 agents, which meant that the rest of the staff was able to focus on the normal operation. We didn't, pull them from their flight or from loading bags or whatever. So our operation was, let's say, left unimpacted.
Yeah,
Which was
yeah, and
very
if you
important.
know that how, I mean, all the projections for air travel, again, different numbers I could quote from different sources, but it all goes up, right? There's a predicted increase. It goes from doubling to 25% extra to by 2024. Anyway, a lot of numbers to quote, but yeah, if you can get those systems in place now and prepare for the future that is to come, of more passengers, of more demanding passengers as well, and being able to collect that data now and working with that data now, that really prepares you for the future, doesn't it?
Exactly. And you talk about data, and it's very important to also say that, okay, we have a vast amount of data that we can use, but it's very important to actually use them and know what happens to your operation, know what happens, in real time. And this is what, again, we have done in Aegean. We have been able to let's say, roll out an extensive BI suite, and we know what's happening, where it's happening, when it's happening. And this also helps us, tackle, the important issues that we can focus and we should focus our efforts towards.
Yeah, it's something that we're also empowering our travel tech with, making sure that all our customers or airlines can download reports and insights. So you've got those analytics ready, and then you can run your processes. And as you said before, very important, formulate a plan as well. Make sure that you use those insights to the best. Any other use cases, Timos, that you would like to share, or case studies that you can think of that might be interesting for people in the audience?
Well, there are a lot of things that we are working on right now that I can't really tell you today, but I will be happy to share them in the future. Again, it's a matter of having the data and analyzing things. Let's say that we have been able to understand what's happening to our operation. We have been finding things that we need to correct using our data. One of these, let's say, was the customs authorities issue that we have in Greece. So normally only 6 airports in Greece have a customs operation. And this means that if you're coming out of the Schengen area, you need to check your bag up to the first, entry point in Greece, which is mainly Athens or Thessaloniki, and then recheck your bag. This is not only a bad customer experience because passengers have bought a single ticket. It's also a nice way to mishandle bags because passengers don't really understand what's going on. And they used to leave the bags in Athens. And in 2015, 2016, we saw a huge rise on this. And we decided, it's much better to go to the customs authorities and tell them, you know what, we want you to be present at most airports that we have transfer bags to, so that we fix, this customer experience and reduce our mishandling. And it was worth it, actually. So again, this was something that we were able to understand, looking at the data. We knew that it was happening, but we didn't know the order of magnitude it had to our operations.
Yeah, absolutely. And to the passenger happiness, I saw a number that 39% of passenger would find it easier if they didn't have to pick up their bag and recheck it and go through that process. So that's a massive boost to your passenger experience that you can make there in the baggage handling. So congratulations on that too, Timos. I've heard you say that you're working on projects now that you can't tell us anything about yet. So I think we'll have to do a webinar in a couple of months again. See what you can share by then.
I'll be happy to do so.
That'd be great. I'm just checking the chat box. I don't see any questions that have come in for now. If I've missed anything, I can tell our audience that, of course, we'll check in with you. We'll pass the questions on to Timos as well and make sure that you get a reply. But for now, all that's left for me is to thank you, Timos.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and
in your busy schedule to make that little time for us. We really appreciate it, and to share your knowledge. And yeah, like I said, maybe we'll see you in a couple of months.
Of course.
Thank you, Timos. Have a great day,
very
and
much.
have a great day, everyone in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.